Good evening, Giants. Welcome to Wake Up with Giants TV. I'm Ryan Morris. Have you ever wondered how to live a pain-free life? We got a show for you. We got the special edition. It's the late night edition. Wake Up with Giants TV. I'm Ryan Morris. Nick Smith is here with me, live in studio. We're rocking and rolling. If you're subscribed on YouTube, go ahead and go do that right now.
I almost want to sing the song, Let the Midnight Special. Yeah, right. Go right into it.
Yeah.
Well, we got a great guest tonight. We've got Batista Gremaud. She is the CEO. I almost want to rhyme this. And president of Dr. Fitness International. She's a #1 best-selling author of The Feminine Body Design, Empowering Fitness for a Pain-Free Life. She's co-creator of the Feminine Body Design online strength training mentoring system. I got that one. That was a long one. She's co-host of the Esoteric Principles of Bodybuilding and producer of the Dr. Fitness USA show. She's a recipient of the Most Outstanding Fitness Program 2019. And that's by the Winner's Circle?
Winner's Circle, Mastermind Etsy. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. She's also a contributor and writer for the In the Limelight publication, featured as an expert authority speaker on the International Pain Foundation, presenter on various health summits such as Life Mastery, Girl You're Enough, the Teen Suicide Prevention Show, and Next Global Virtual Summit. So welcome to the show. That's a mouthful.
She can also leg press like 32 of us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was the amount? You told us earlier. I remember. That's what stuck in my head, but I can't remember the amount.
650 pounds, which I did today before the show.
Wow. Dang. Yeah, me too. I was just like, hey, I'm just going to do this so I could say I did it.
That's three of me. That's 3.5 of me almost. That's a lot. Well, not half. That's a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
No, are you serious? You did?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Thought about it.
Press anything.
Yeah.
Somebody's
usually about the extent of my workouts as I think about them.
Yeah.
So this is going to be life-changing for me because then now I'm going to be inspired to work out.
Yeah.
Great. That's why we are here talking, inspiring to take action to transform their lives, because the body is part of the foundation of what you got to live with, right?
Yeah.
I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
I'm stuck with it.
Gotta make the most of all of this.
We're going to dive into your story. So let's go back in time, all the way back to the beginning of your life. What was it like growing up? What was childhood like? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So that's something I don't talk about very often. So it's kind of exciting to talk about it, because it's actually the foundation of my next book. So I grew up in a small town in Switzerland. I grew up on a farm, and my parents were artists. So I grew up with the art. My mother was a ballet dancer. My father was a mime. And they had a dance academy and a dance company in that small town in Switzerland. Yeah. And so my childhood was basically about dancing and farm life. You know, when we weren't dancing or at the dance studio or whatever, or performing, we were gardening or picking up the chicken from the eggs at the farm, or the milk or whatever. So it was kind of in retrospect, it was a healthy, happy childhood. But there was a lot of psychosis in my family. There a lot of religion. The small town I come from was very religious, very Catholic, and my mother was kind of overboard in the religion, and there was some paranormal thing that were happening in the family. There's a long story, so I don't want to make this whole show about that. Otherwise,
now I'm intrigued about the paranormal.
We got a whole hour. Let's dive in.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Okay. So I can tell you briefly. My My brother was sick. He was born. He had meningitis, and so he was mentally disabled as very young. And so my mother would always take him to Lourdes. I don't know if you're familiar with Lourdes. It's a place in France where people were healed by the Virgin or whatever. We're talking heavy-duty Catholicism, and there my mother met a woman that was healed in Lourdes, and to make a long story short, the woman ended up living in our house. And now this is really something I never talk about. And the woman used to have the stigmas on Friday, like Jesus on the cross. She would almost die. And then she had apparitions, and then we became kind of the talk of the town, where Jesus was appearing, the Virgin Mary, and then there was this whole fight with the Catholic Church that didn't believe it. And then it was this big secret I couldn't talk about, because then everybody would think I was crazy. And it was very, very intense, and it was completely overboard. It was almost like a psychosis that pretty much, in retrospect, destroyed our life. My father ended up having a nervous breakdown. He jumped out of the window. Our third story floor farmhouse where we lived, broke all his bones. My mother was institutionalized many, many times. My father ended up schizophrenic at the age of 20. So I grew up in a pretty intense. Yes.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you why we bring that up. As part of the story and part of our training is everybody has a different start point. Every single person that's been on our show, everybody that's part of the tribe, they all have different start points. Some have lives that are fairly, non-eventful. Let's say it that way, comfortable. Others have lives that are very chaotic and traumatic, right? And it sounds like yours was the last. Yes. Outside of talking to the cows, it was pretty normal. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So how did that impact you?
Well, first of all, I very early on, I became pretty dysfunctional. I was the strong one in the family, and I was the go-getter or whatever. But somehow I needed to cover up and make do, right, survive. So I started drinking and smoking pot and doing the whole thing. And then of course my dream was to be a dancer. That's all I've ever done. So basically what I did is I left home very, very early on, because I felt like if I stayed there, I would end up like them. I would be crazy, just like them, right? Okay. And so I left at 16. I went to the dance academy in Holland. And then in returning from the dance academy, I fell in love with flamenco dancing. And so I moved to Spain at 18. And from there, I picked up a career. I learned more about flamenco dancing or whatever. Then I fell in love with an American, and
You're hard to resist. What can I say? Look at this.
Are we though?
That's how I ended up in America, basically. In my early 20s, basically, I moved to LA. By then, I was a full-blown flamenco dancer, ballet dancer. That was my career, but I was still pretty dysfunctional, I would say. I hadn't found my way, my path, or whatever. I was still basically stuffing a lot of pain from my upbringing, and then
feel like that contributed to your path?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. What happened is in my early 20s, I ended up having a series of car accidents. I think I mentioned that to you at one point, and I think it was karmic or whatever. The universe was knocking at my door going, hey, you got to do something about this.
Universe does that kind of strange stuff.
You got to knock, your lifestyle is not that healthy, and I had 7 or 9 car accidents. I forget.
7 or 9.
I can't remember now if it was 7 or 9.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, in
I
another.
have
Somewhere
had
around 20 or 30 accidents. Nothing major.
Yeah, it was in a matter of 2 years' time, but
Wow.
the accidents kept getting worse and worse and worse. You know, the first time I was rear-ended, the second time, you know, it got worse and worse. And the last one, the one that woke me up, okay, is I had a brand new car. It was a Cherokee Jeep, and the steering box broke on the freeway. And
Like,
you
can't steer.
You can't steer, right? And so panic time. I rolled over like I don't know how many times, and then I crashed on the railroad.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Upside down. And thank God I had my seatbelt, because I would literally not have survived. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. And but that one woke me up, because also what happened is the day before that, I was stopped by the police because I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And so I had a ticket, you know, for not wearing a seatbelt, and that saved my life. You know, so somebody was really watching,
Yeah.
you know, over me. And that's when I decided that I better listen, because the next time I wasn't going to make it. And that's when I changed my whole way.
I start listening like when the paranormal activity starts at a young age. That's when I start listening. But you waited until accident 9.
Well, I imagine the voice saying, "Don't be an Uber driver." Right?
Yeah.
It's not in your car.
I don't think you should.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you know what? I'm such a good driver. I haven't had an accident then or a ticket. Okay.
That's
I'm
awesome.
the best driver. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Well, so tell me about this awakening. So how did it wake you up, and where did that take you? What was that next step like?
That took me on a spiritual path.
Okay.
Where I decided that I really wanted to find some answers, because the way I grew up in this religious psychosis,
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't the answer. I had to find something different. I had to find, you know, a truth that, because I always believed in God and spirituality and all this, but that just didn't work for me, you know.
Yeah.
And so I started on the path of searching, if you like. It's not like I don't like to say that I studied religions, because I don't study religions. I immersed myself into the path, and I went into Kabbalah, learned about Gnosis, I learned about Buddhism and Hinduism, shamanism, and my life was all about searching for a truth, you know, a truth. And so what happened is, when I wasn't dancing, because I had a career as a dancer, so I had a dance company, a dance studio, arts education program. I was working a lot, all in the dance. When I wasn't doing this, I was in meditation or you know, doing some type of puja or whatever.
Yeah.
And then because of all the accidents I had, it left me with a lot of injuries. Right? 9 accidents.
Yeah.
And so I more dancing, more pain, more injuries, and it all escalated to a point where I was in serious pain all the time. By the time I met Dr. Fitness USA, I was like literally at a chiropractor 3 times a week, having massages at least once or twice a week. I was doing acupuncture, just you name it, hands-on healing, Reiki, you know, you name it, I did it. All the more conventional ways of healing and not so conventional ways of healing.
Yeah.
And nothing was working at all. And but I was on a path of searching for truth, and you know, my passion was spirituality and integration, basically. And one day I was in a meditation, and the topic was body, mind, spirit integration. And I woke up again. It was a second awakening, right?
Yeah.
The first one was when my accidents happened, and this one was a second one. It was like waking up from a dream. I was thinking, body, mind, spirit integration, that's great, but I'm in a lot of pain and my body's falling apart. So what's that body, mind, spirit integration? There was definitely a piece of the puzzle missing for me. It was missing. And then I looked in the room and I saw all my beautiful friends, and I saw a lot of pain, not only physical pain, but emotional, mental, and it brought me back to my youth with all the mental illnesses. And, I just saw a lot of suffering. And at that night, I made an intention to find the piece of the puzzle missing. And the next day I met Dr. Fitness USA. And that was the beginning of another amazing journey where I discovered a whole new way of dealing with my body, with the mind. I've done a lot of research, and that was the beginning of this new path that I'm on now.
Yeah. Wow. So that's quite the journey. I mean, you went from paranormal and psychosis to accidents to a spiritual journey to fitness to alleviate the pain, right?
Yes.
A lot of it was around alleviating the pain, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally.
Yeah, it started with physically because, it gets old to always be in pain.
Yeah.
But the more I found relief in my body and in my injuries, the more I realized the connection between the body and the mind.
Yeah.
And then the more I got involved with it, the more I started connecting the dot with the spirit and the body, mind, spirit, and the connections between the physical body and the mental body and the etheric bodies. It's all connected in a way. And sometimes we talk about body, mind, spirit integration, but we kind of don't think that the body,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I do. I want to dive into that a little bit. So that, this is where your philosophies for life will come out, and we'll write down nuggets as we go through this, but there's a distinction that you're creating here between the body, the mind, and when I hear mind, I hear the brain and the emotions, like the whole nervous system that's tied to that, right? So physiologically, you have your body as a system, and then you have your mind as a system. And then you have the ethereal, like you talk about, the spirit, which is beyond that. And one thing that I've been finding with, science in a way could become a religion in its own right, because it's one of those forms of like, we have the truth kind of a thing. But one of the things that I love about is the measurement, and they get to a point where they can only measure so far, and they're stuck at this thing called consciousness, which somebody else might call spirit, or ethereal or whatever. So can you
you said science and both of your eyes just like
yeah, absolutely, because it's all connected and it's all related. You can't take one away from the equation and think that you have the truth. I like to think in a way where, Leonardo da Vinci and the Vitruvian Man, the picture of the perfect man. And I like to think that was a vision that we can actually take into reality by reconstructing the body to fit the vision. And I've done a lot of research in this, because that was the inspiration for the show that I did, the Esoteric Principles of Bodybuilding, where I connect all the dots.
No. They're like, please say fractal. Ah, dang it, I said it.
But the Vitruvian Man was actually inspired by the perfect man. All the temples in the ancient history were actually designed according to the dimensions of the perfect man.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's fascinating, the history. So when you think about it, it's deep, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's really deep, because the body, we say, oh, we are just the spirit it's just a reflection of, there's a lot of saying that people say that we are we are a spirit in a body, and just whatever, like the body, forget the body. But if you look at the religion, Jesus resurrected with his physical body. That's the resurrection, right? So when we talk about a new earth, I can go totally far out. Just stop me when I go too far.
Well,
it's your story. So we like to highlight the story. So
that's what we do is we're not trying to convince anybody to believe a certain way. You're just sharing your perspective and your experience of it. And so we're good with.
Yeah, thank you. So people are talking, because there's a lot of people and a lot of consciousness right now, or a change in consciousness, a shift, right? And with all that's happened with the pandemic and all the energies and everything. But really, when we talk about a new earth, which is what we are aspiring to, at least the people that are in the conscious field, we're talking about the new earth, where our bodies are transforming in a way that there are still, we call them the body of light, but it's not like now you're dead and now you are somewhere else. You are actually resurrecting. You're transforming your body, so you still have your body. But how does that happen? How do you make that happen? So this is where the dots are connecting, when you can live consciously. And it has not only to do with strength training, which I want to talk about, because I can explain where I'm coming from with this, but of course everything matters, right? Nutrition, relaxation, meditation, because it's all part of the same thing. But there's one thing, and there's a lot of talk about nutrition, about meditation, about all these things. A lot of people, a lot of books, a lot of information about that. But about strength training, there's not very much, and especially not the way I understand it and the way I live it. Okay? Because in our program, the strength training program, what we do is we really not only strengthen the body, but strengthen the nervous system. And do you know that there is research now that shows, and that's why when you said science, I went, because there's a lot of research now that proves that you can actually create new neurons in the brain, okay? New connection, new synapses in the brain with exercise in general, but specifically with strength training. They've done some research on Alzheimer, where they could reverse or prevent Alzheimer with strength training specifically. So I'm not talking about yoga, walking, I'm talking about strength training. So there's a lot of research that's coming available now in the areas that Stephen, Dr. Fitness USA, has been teaching for 50 years.
Yeah. So what I love about science is that it measures what already exists. What's crazy is all of this already exists. That scientists don't go out and create neurons growing themselves. They measure it.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
It's like Einstein didn't create the theory of relativity unless he did by observation, which could go back into quantum physics. And that's a possibility. But the reality is he uncovered it. It was already there. And so some of these things, like the idea that you can grow new neurons through strength training specifically, that's very useful because it's measurable. And that's where I appreciate science, is the measurability of it. And the spirituality gives you hope. Like there's something that's needed there too. It's not like you can have one without the other, for me.
Yes,
anyway.
Exactly. For me too. And that has been the pursuit. And so as I engage more and more in this journey of having this new connection with my body. But I failed to say something for your listeners. I think I didn't mention this. Is I did say that after making that intention, I met Dr. Fitness USA, but I don't think I completed the train of thought of what happened then. Did I? No, I didn't. What happened is he started introducing me to the philosophy about the nervous system, the right brain, the left brain, the fitness industry that's based so much on male energy, this whole energetic thing. And I was very intrigued about it, and so I hired him. Okay, and a few weeks later, I found myself, ballerina, dancing. I found myself at Gold's Gym Venice, of all places, where the big bodybuilders.
Where I hang out.
And I have to say, I had all the misconceptions that women have. Me even worse, right? Because I was brought up with ballet and all this. But in any case, sometimes you pray for something, and so when the something comes in, even if it doesn't look like something you expected, you open the door, and I did. And what happened is within a couple of weeks, my backache was gone. That's a backache of 35 years. And then all my injuries healed, all my injuries. And so to make a long story short, I ended up marrying him.
I would after that.
Yes, and then made a career transition, and here we are. So I think I had not mentioned that little piece there. Which is relevant to this overall story.
So let's talk about the connection, because the kind of the theme that we chose for this is pain-free life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how does a person, let's say that somebody's experiencing pain, and it could be emotional or physical pain, right? How, and this is, so this is what I want to be cautious of. A lot of times we want to know the how, and then we won't do anything with it. So keeping it simple enough that people would actually act on it, which,
okay. So there is no magic trick. Okay. I can't tell you do this exercise or that exercise, and then you're going to be pain free. It doesn't work like that. As a matter of fact, it took me 8 years of research to come up with some conclusions of why people that engage in this program become pain-free, because I see it all the time. And as a disclaimer, I don't want to make any medical claims. You know what I mean? None of that. But I just want to talk by experience and kind of like the research that I've done, what I found out. And so it comes in two ways, the pain-free, okay? The first part is putting the body back into balance, okay? Because if you think about it, compare it to a car. You have four wheels, and now one wheel is getting used up, overused. What's going to happen? The car is still going to drive, right? Yeah. But pretty soon it's going to start swerving, right? And you're still going to be able to drive, but it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And then if you don't do anything about it, then eventually something is going to happen. The wheel is going to fly off or whatever, right? So the body is the same way. We do things that put our body out of balance on regular basis. It's called life, right? You play a sport, tennis, you use your right arm, you carry the kid, you do things in a certain way during life without noticing, without realizing, or without even thinking about it, that slowly is going to shift the body out. And then it starts like the car. Yeah. You don't notice it, but it gets worse and worse and worse. And pretty soon, one day, you take the laundry out or something and you go, oh, my back went out, or, and that's kind of
that happened to me on my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bent over to give the dog food, and then couldn't get back up again.
Yeah. So that never happens because you fed the dog. This
No.
came from
I blamed it though.
poor doggy.
I know.
So it never happens. This is overuse injury, and this happens over a long period of time. And this is like a common way of what happens to it. In my case, it was 9 car accidents, so it was a little more severe. And people do have car accidents and accidents. They fall off the ladder or whatever, and then they go to a doctor, physiotherapy, and they do 6 weeks of therapy, and then, I'm okay, but they don't realize that they're not really quite okay. You're not quite okay if you're not rebuilding the muscles around the body that's going to keep your body in balance. That's the bottom line. You gotta build the muscular skeletal structure of the body so it holds your bones in place, so it holds your body straight.
So this is interesting to me because you're in ballet for a good chunk of your life and you're still in pain. Mm-hmm. And one thing I know about, is it ballerinas? Is that the proper term?
Yes.
Is that you have to exercise odd and tiny muscles, otherwise you lose form, right? So you're constantly working these smaller muscles. And so what I'm hearing is that the major muscles that hold the frame in place, right, are the ones that create the change. Am I hearing that wrong?
Yes, because you do have to work the major muscles, but you also have to work the tiny muscles. But that's only one part of it. You have to do it in a way where you're moving in an ergonomically proper position. You see, ballet is famous for ruining bodies. It's not because you do ballet that you're going to live happily ever after and be healthy. There are a lot of physical activities, and ballet is one of them, that is extremely hard on the body because you're always forcing the body into positions that are kind of that are biomechanically really not natural.
Okay? I've done that with jeans before. Yeah. I've done that with a pair of jeans.
Yeah.
You're like that.
That does not biomechanically look good.
Yeah. Like, man,
how did he do
funny.
That? Those skinny jeans he wears, man.
Yeah. So you're funny. So I don't say don't do ballet and don't do. I'm not saying that, but I can tell you one thing is, if I had found this program and these answers when I was still dancing, early on, I know that I would have been able to avoid a lot of injuries. As a matter of fact, dancers now do strength training. Just go to a gym and see who is pumping iron, not only the bodybuilders. Okay, so it's really becoming like mainstream.
But there's a form for it. So what I'm hearing in the ballet is that ballet really pushes the body, it stretches the body, and there's a lot of sports that do that.
Yeah.
But they do it in ways that the body's not really designed for.
Exactly.
And so that's where the damage comes in.
Yeah.
And so when you do strength training in the way the body's designed, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That's where the
yes, because you strengthen the joints, you can strengthen the areas so that you can stay strong. Absolutely. So this is one area of it, the ergonomics and the keeping the body in balance. But then there is what we talked about earlier, is the nervous system. Okay. And I like to, and this is very important, I like to compare the nervous system to like your electrical panel in your house.
Yeah.
Right. If it's outdated and you plug in too many appliances, what happens?
Yeah, you blow a circuit. Boom.
Boom.
Like the Christmas Story. Just sparks everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the body is the same way. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a lot of obligations, stress, responsibilities, family, whatever you name it, finances, pandemics, whatever. And so it burns our nervous system, right? And so now we're gonna get in shape. Yeah, come on, do more. Let's go. Let's push. So you compound
Right.
on a weakened immune system already. And I think that for me, that was very true for me because I was working 7 days a week. I was dancing 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had a lot of stress like everybody else, right? The business or whatever. And the body gives out, So one of the reasons why I think that this program works in helping people with pain is because we strengthen the nervous system. So the programs are not based on performance. Come on, let's do more. Come on, lift 650 pounds. No, it's not like that. But because of the ergonomics and everything that we talked about earlier, where the body's protected and you feel safe and the movements are ergonomically in place, everything is balanced, then you become very, very strong very quickly, but the body's grounded. Okay, so in spirituality, we talk about the importance of grounding the body, like through walking in the grass or or visualizations and things like this. But think about it like this: if you can do strength training in a way where your body is grounded, and now you're pushing against the weight, you feel good, you produce a lot of endorphins, your body's going into balance, you become strong, you actually physically strengthen your nervous system, and it's instant stress release.
This makes a lot of sense to me. I want to tie in the Giant's journey into this because somebody might be starting their journey feeling small in this arena. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but Nick Smith would be one of those people. But you feel small in this area, and then as you gain knowledge, then you start to we know, Nick. Yeah, no secrets here. Yeah, but as you gain knowledge in it, gaining the right knowledge is so important. That's where mentors come in the book. We talk about the mentorship and how the Giant teaches them the pathway, but he still has to earn it, right? Mm-hmm. And so in this case is we get to stand on the shoulders of somebody that developed a program that really helps not just with the physical body, but with the neurological body and in a way, the spiritual body. Right.
Yes, absolutely. And I have to tell you, and I love that you said that. Okay. Yeah. Because a lot of times when we talk about fitness or, we go to a networking event or whatever, and people say, well, what do you do? And we kind of explain, short version, but still, And so people say, oh, I do yoga or I walk or, oh, I don't like the gym or, oh, they have an answer kind of like that. But when you go to a networking event per se, and you meet a lawyer, oh, I'm a lawyer. Oh, what's the next question?
What kind?
What kind?
Yeah.
What's your specialty?
Yeah.
Right? Or a doctor.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But fitness is it's like the stew.
Everyone gets just lumped in.
Yeah.
Everything in the stew, right? Whatever. And then you overcook it so you can't see what the ingredients are, right?
Right. Yeah.
And there's very, very little knowledge or awareness or even interest to know more that there are different specialties and different physical activities will yield different results.
Is it complicated? That's one of the things that I've been learning. So Mandelbrot's one of my favorites, a mathematician. But the reason I love him is because he talks about simple equations that when repeated create complexity. And so a lot of times we look at giants and we think, oh, they're doing great things. And I don't know if I can do that, but they're repeating the same simple steps. They're just bigger in capacity, right?
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
Totally. Hey, listen, it sounds complicated, okay? But when we take somebody on a program, they go like, that's it? That's all there is to it.
What am
That's
I
all-
paying for? This is that's
Yeah.
it.
I thought you were talking about like dates or like
Yeah.
dates. Nick goes on. That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
got
Nick, I love you, brother.
it.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't do those much anymore, but yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like it's that simple though, right? There's like it's just a simple.
It's so simple when you know what to do. If you know what to do, it's
Yeah.
You know what? Like
it's
for me, like going to the gym. That this is the stew. Okay, so a lot of people at home.
Potatoes here, guys.
Yeah,
Potatoes.
this is deep
Yeah.
stuff right here. So
Yeah.
get out your notepads. But like, I'm imagining a lot of people feel the same way I do, where it's they think like meatheads at the gym, and it's gonna be hard, and I don't want to go do this. It's early in the morning. It's this, that, the other, all the reasons.
Mhm.
But I could understand, like, if you said, "Hey, it's simple," and you could show somebody, "Hey, this is simple. You can do this." Like you leg pressed 630 pounds.
650.
650. My bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to take off 20 pounds.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I think my legs would snap.
Yeah, no, as a matter of fact, I went today and it depends the machine too, right? Because we go to different gyms and not every piece of equipment is designed the same. There are certain pieces of equipment, leg press, that I can only do 500, but so it depends the piece of equipment and how,
only 500.
But it's true. But today,
That's 2 1/3 of me.
but today, I went to that one gym that has that one particular machine that is the best. Okay, the best machine. That's the one I really like, and I could do my 650, but my legs weren't even shaking. I could have done 7. I could have done 750. It was so easy, and when you don't try it at home. Okay, don't go to the gym and try to lift 650 because it has to do with.
If you do, go record it. I want to see this.
No.
Fails on YouTube.
Yeah, no.
No, don't do it because it didn't come overnight either. Okay, and it comes with the formula that we put together. I've been doing this 12 years, and I have my special ergonomic pad. We have tricks that allows the body to be ergonomically safe, so you can do that. Okay, so it doesn't just come like this. But what I'm saying is, yes, it is easy. People that go on our program often refer to it as an active meditation because it's so quiet.
I want to highlight this. There's some value and some nuggets inside of this for those that are watching, because the things that somebody is doing, like you look at somebody, let's say Elon Musk, right? You look at what they're doing. That guy works a lot of hours, no doubt, but he's got a formula that he repeats over and over. And the challenge is that people don't want the formula. They want the shortcut. They want, give me the 1-year plan or the 1 month plan. And here you've been doing it for 12 years. You've been doing these simple steps repeated over a 12-year period, which led to the complexity called a 700-pound lift, right?
Yes.
It's not like you just went out to the gym and you're like, walk on 700 pounds, drop the microphone, walk out, all the dude's jaws are dropped, right? It doesn't happen that way. And that's the confusion.
I bet it still is jaw dropping though.
Yeah. I bet it is.
Even though I have to say that because of the sequence of exercise and the way it's taught and everything, we have seen people that are completely out of shape, say I can tell you, like a woman, 5'3", 60 years old, completely out of shape, in the first 20 minutes, leg pressing 300 pounds. So it's still astonishing, but it has to do with the system, right? So it's not 700 pounds, but we've seen some dramatic strength increase very rapidly, which brings me back to the point where we talked about the secret to a pain-free life. That comes in putting the body back into balance, increasing the physical strength, right? but then strengthening the nervous system. So it's kind of like rewiring your house with a new electrical panel. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then in time, the body goes, whew, that feels pretty good. And then, of course, it reflects on other areas of your life, because how you do one thing, you do everything. So when you can be grounded, focused, stop multitasking in the gym, you're very focused, the weight goes up or down, and you better stay focused, because that's what it is. It's you and God right there, right? So it's like small habits that you take.
And God's not spotting, right? It's like, it's you and God. He's like, I want to see this too. Like, this is going to be awesome. Right?
Yeah. But then, so you form habits.
Yeah. Wow.
Small habits that now you're going to carry over to your life, to your work, to your family. You're going to be able to set better boundaries, take care of yourself better, and then things fall into place. Like, for example, if somebody comes to us like for weight loss, because people do that. Oh, I want to lose 30 pounds tomorrow. Okay. We never put them on a diet or take it from that way. For us, is you increase your strength, you strengthen your nervous system. This is not what we tell them, right? We just tell them, just go train, just do the work. We're behind the scene telling them how to do it, right? We do the work. You just have to show up. But basically, when you do that by osmosis, you're going to feel better, want to pick up better habits, eat better, and you're going to, things are going to fall into place. So we strengthen the good points and not think too much about getting rid of the bad habits.
Well, it's like everything kind of falls into line as you do those things.
Yeah, but it takes time, It's not like it happens in 90 days. You can do a lot of things in 90 days, but this is a lifelong journey. Once you start on this path, you better know that you're going to be training for the rest of your life, because it's the fountain of youth. Don't you want to grow older?
You found it.
Yeah. Seriously, I'm 61. I feel stronger and better than 15 years ago.
Yeah, amazing. Well, now here's what I want to ask is somebody that's challenged. Let's say that, we have a lot of viewers that are in wheelchairs, they're amputees. Ryan and I both had COVID, right? And it's still, I find myself sapped of energy, right? And so when you get these challenges, what piece of wisdom would you give somebody that is maybe challenged? I don't want to say disabled or handicapped, but challenged, right? To be able to do something similar.
Okay. You can watch this. You can watch this movie. It's called Bleed for This. Do you know Bleed for This? Have you heard of that movie? Okay, go watch it. It's a story. It's a true story. Okay. It's the story of a boxer. I forget his name. He was in a crash. He broke his neck. Yep. He was in a what do you call this thing they put on their head? The halo. Yeah. The halo. Yeah. He was on the halo for I don't know how many months. Doctor said he would never box again, and he could not lift weight ever again. They wanted to do surgery on his neck to fuse the discs. Yeah. He refused. Against all odds, in the middle of the night, he's found in the basement lifting weight. Okay, he rehabilitated himself. Not only rehabilitated himself, but went back to boxing and won the championship. Yeah, it is the fountain of youth. I'm telling you, the gym is filled with people with disabilities. This is where they get their life back. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, and and these are people that don't even have our program. Okay, they're doing whatever, and it's still getting the result. I'm telling you, it's where you go to get your life back. It's where you go to learn to walk again, to get your strength, to get your mental clarity, to get your focus. That's in the gym. I think you're going to disappoint a lot of people in saying that the Fountain of Youth isn't a Peloton bike.
or a
Sorry,
treadmill.
Peloton, but if
Yeah.
you want to sponsor us, you still can.
Yeah, please do. The address is below. No.
And if you have COVID, and if you
Yeah,
have any illness, and remember, they're all part of the same thing in a way.
Mhm.
It's the weakened immune system. It's an imbalance of some kind, whether whether it's whatever. And the solution and the answer is to strengthen your body. It comes back to, hey, the book I wrote, Feminine Body Design, Empowering Fitness for a Pain-Free Life, originally
#1 bestseller.
#1 bestseller. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I started writing this book because I was approached by a woman that had a company dealing with women that had endometriosis.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And I didn't know what endometriosis was.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, "Oh, you want a program for endometriosis?" Sure. I didn't even know what it was, right?
Yeah.
And so I started researching and making notes and writing, and then all of a sudden I go like, wait a minute, this is the same thing that with my injuries. I don't have endometriosis, and I found that the answers that I was finding for endometriosis was the same for injuries, for chronic fatigue, for inflammation, for mental focus. And so then I said, well, the book is not for endometriosis anymore. There's a chapter about it because I originally it was for that. But then I said, no, it's for every woman. And so that's when I opened the book for every woman. And, the book is focused really on women's health. And it's basically all the research that I've done and the misconceptions or whatever. For men is a little bit different, the conversation. So
we don't have endometriosis.
Yeah, you don't have endometriosis.
No.
And with the aging process for men is a little bit different because you lose testosterone. Women produce more progesterone, so the hormones is a little bit different.
Yeah.
For us, as we get older, we become more masculine because we produce more progesterone, so we become more intellectual and we like to do
now
things.
It's all making sense. Like, yeah. Now I understand Ryan more. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but for you guys it's different because you produce less testosterone, so you become more feminized.
Yeah,
right?
Super feminine.
So you want to do fun things, but
decorate my house.
Paint my toenail. I got my toenails painted. Like I've been trying to figure out like why this is happening.
Yeah, I know all of the color palette, like the whole wheel, all of it. Fuchsia, everything.
It's progesterone. Or testosterone.
Testosterone. So for men, you're not making fun of me, are you?
No. We're definitely
We're
not
just having
that.
fun.
Yeah.
We're actually making fun of ourselves mostly because it's mostly true.
I know. So for men, what we hear a lot is like, oh, when I was younger, I used to lift weight. Now I don't, I lift really light because I'm older. I just want to maintain. Change your thinking. This is now that you need to lift more because now you're getting older. You need to build testosterone. You need to keep your male characteristics, right? The testosterone and then people wonder, erectile dysfunction and I don't know what. You gotta keep your testosterone up. This is when you need to pump more iron. Don't lift lighter. Lift heavier as you get older. Without hurting yourself, obviously, but it's reverse thinking,
Yeah, I mean, really honoring the body and the way it was designed, and then lifting in that format. Like you're lifting by design. You're not just throwing weights up. You're out there using the body the way it was set up to be. And there's a lot of message in this for me. Just keep doing the little things, but do them heavily. Like do them with a lot of weight, right? Like
that sounds amazing too. Just like sitting ergonomically in a chair.
Yeah,
that sounds like my perfect like gym experience. like the Peloton doesn't sound exciting, really.
No.
And
Hey, listen.
lots of movement doesn't sound fun. So
I'm telling you, we go to the gym, and my husband, you met him. He's
Yeah.
73 now, right? And
Yeah.
he keeps saying, I'm gonna do my chest pressing, and because he's 73, he doesn't lift like when he was 50, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
he's changed the thing. But he's like, so he doesn't do like dumbbell presses. He sits in the machine and
Yeah.
presses, and he says, I just have to go to the gym and sit and press.
I'm going to the gym.
I don't even know what it's like to lift at 50 yet. I'm still not to that point. And here your husband's 23 years past that. And he's in great shape. He's still out there lifting, just vibrant. And there's nothing to that. So like hearing this, the message I'm taking away from this is add some weight to your life, right? But do it ergonomically. And can you hear how that would apply to any creation? Like if you want to build mass in anything, whether it's building your body or not, add some weight so that you increase in capacity. Like take more on.
Yeah.
But do it in a way that doesn't hurt your body.
Exactly. And don't do it out of ego. Ego is not your amigo.
that needs to be written down.
Definitely. Okay. It's not about ego. It's not, come on, I got to do more, whatever. You got to do comfortable,
Wow.
Because the guy next to you is doing more. You can't compare yourself
That's my
to
problem.
anybody.
Is I always want to like destroy everyone else the first day.
Yeah.
So I sit there. I'm like super competitive, so it's going to be a little hard. I'm going to have to focus.
I can picture you like walking circles.
Not look at
around
Batista doing 650 over there and be like, I got this.
So, if you were to give a piece of wisdom, another piece of wisdom to those that are watching, that are maybe starting their journey, what piece of wisdom would you give?
Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind, and know that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And but keep an open mind, because I will tell you that this is not what I expected for my life. And when I prayed, because I wanted to have the answer to the body, mind, spirit integration, really, that was my prayer, right? Because I was so focused in spirituality and I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And I did not expect finding myself at Gold Gym, lifting weight, or even marrying a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But keep an open mind. And I have to tell you that and I had a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions, and they allow those false belief systems to keep them stuck. Okay. Yeah. And so the first thing I would say is keep an open mind, because I can give you advice, go to the gym, start strength training, do this, do that. But what is it? It's not, you know what I mean? You can get advice like this anywhere, right?
Sure.
But what I'm saying is there is magic into doing things a certain way. And if you want, and it comes back to what you were saying earlier about the book, The Walking with Giants, finding the small steps or whatever.
Yep.
If you are resonating with anything that you've heard today that I've said, then you might just want to pick up the phone and give us a call instead of going and try to find your way in the jungle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I paved the path in a way.
Yeah.
For other women and men, we work with men too. But, it didn't come easy for me. I sacrificed 8 years of my life researching to find the answers. And I did them for my own curiosity, because I wanted to know the answers, because I'm like that. Yeah. I am an eternal learner. I love learning, right? So for me, it was a passion to find out all the answers. But in many ways, I paved the way. You know what I mean? So if you want to go find your own way in the jungle based on something that I've said, and you want to do this, that's fine. Or you can also pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's really actually is the shortcut right there. Is find a mentor, stand on a giant's shoulders and see a different perspective. Shortcut it that way, where then they can teach you the proper form and the steps taken. You still have to go down. You still have to do the leg presses. You still have to eventually do the work to get the 650.
Mm-hmm.
But she's done it for you. So if this is something that is up your alley, if you have pain, if you want to drink out of the fountain of youth, Batista is your gal for sure. This has been awesome. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, do I have a little more time to tell you?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We just finished.
We'll bill you for it later then. Send an invoice.
No, I just wanted to say this because it just happened today.
I'm just kidding. You have all the time in the world. Let's go. You're good.
A year ago, exactly today, we started with a woman. She's 65 years old, I think, or something like this.
Yeah.
And she came to us because she just adopted a little baby. Okay.
Oh, wow.
At that age. And so she wanted to be strong for the baby. Huh. Okay. So we took her on, and she is just finishing now her 1-year program with us.
Yeah.
And today we asked her to give us her progress pictures. Okay.
Yeah.
And she was terribly out of shape. And when we opened the progress picture, oh my God, it's like her back is the back of a 40 years old. I swear. We went like this. It's like you wouldn't. She still has a little ways to go, lose a few more pounds or whatever.
Yeah,
but the structure of the body, and she's happy, or she's running after the baby, she's skiing, she's doing all the things that she hadn't done in a long time. So the program, the strength, the vitality, the vibrancy, all that is there. Wow. But the outcome of the balanced body, you see, it's not only about slapping muscles on the body, right?
Yeah,
the balance,
like slapping muscles.
The beauty of the waistline, and Stephen and I, we just looked at it and we went, whoa. You would, from the back, you could not tell this is a 65 years old woman.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I to get old for me, I think about that, to get old age-wise and to be old, like physically worn down, is so not appealing to me in any way. Like, years old, I want to go out on a skateboard, like I want to, if I'm going to die, it's going to be on a skateboard or something crazy. Like, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life at 80 years old.
Well, you better start now.
Yeah. Right.
Nick, you're behind, bro.
I am starting right after this video.
Yeah, because you know what? It's like starting a business.
Yeah.
Right. If you start a business and you don't plan a budget, then it's hard. So it's kind of like putting money in the bank when you start younger. As you get older, you have like you have capital.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say the earlier you start, the better it is.
Yeah. I've got a little bit of a foundation. Yeah, I got some guns here.
Whoa. Wow.
Dang, dude, look at that.
I'm not flexing for anybody.
I'm not flexing anymore either. That's phenomenal.
I don't want to embarrass anybody or myself.
Well, Batista, thank you for being on. This has been a pleasure. And just the process that you've described is perfect. It's like, that makes so much sense to me, to add strength, to add weight to whatever it is you're creating, right? Ergonomically, you do it in a way that doesn't hurt your body, or, like, I could see how that applies to any creation. So that's a beautiful thing.
And the nervous system.
Yeah.
Don't continuously overload yourself. And that has to do, we talk about the gym. That's the tool that we use. But, people now pry on multitasking. Oh, I'm such a good multitasker. Think twice. Okay.
Yeah.
Do one thing at the time. Do one thing well. One thing at the time, take space. I mean, there's a lot of other things that we could talk about, but the nervous system will do you in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Very important. Ryan, did you have any other thoughts?
I'm just amazed, and
Yeah.
when we first talked, just blown away at the things that you're doing, and I learned a lot today. So I'm going to go apply those things, and I encourage all those giants that are listening and those that listen in the future to go and follow Batista. Find her information. Give them a phone call. We reach out on the website. Figure it out. But you don't have to do it alone. That's the best part. You don't have to do 8, 10, 12 years of struggle. She's done the work for you as far as the research and the program. You just have to insert yourself into that program. So go do that. That's what I recommend. So
Awesome.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thanks for being on.
It was great. And one more thing, you don't have to be a gym rat either. If you go 3 times a week for 30 minutes, 45 minutes is plenty. People think that they have to work out all the time, every day, whatever. You don't. So it doesn't have to be overwhelming.
I love it. Yeah, do it at a good pace. Well, those that are watching, thank you. Thanks for being a part of this. Remember, always go out and do giant things. Small steps, repeated, create complexity in your life. Go do that. Add some weight to your life and do some amazing things. We'll see you in the next episode.
Love you too.